Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Doing another pen musings video today where I'm going to talk about a pen related topic that has either come up in the last little while or is a reflection on something that I've been discussing on some of my videos here on YouTube. But also just to give you a little bit of an update as to what I'm up to, both pen related and unpen related, because I do get some questions as to sort of what I do outside of this hobby. So I'm here with a cup of coffee and some stuff in front of me here, which we'll sort of show in a minute. And yeah, so outside of pens, what I do is I'm an opera singer and classical music composer. I'm composing an opera and a musical at the moment. So that's taking up some nice free time, which is brilliant. I've just finished a production of Verdi's opera Rigoletto here in Melbourne, hence why I've lost some of my facial hair and it's all looking a bit odd at the moment. Part of the job is adapting your look to the role that you're doing. I had some pretty sort of severe makeup latex scarring on part of my face for the show, so some of the beard had to go for that. So yeah, start growing that back. I'm gearing up for production of Gounod's Romeo and Juliet, which is exciting. It's a beautiful opera. I've been travelling a bit, doing concerts and recitals and all those sorts of things, so it's nice to be home for a little bit, see my family and get some of my pen stuff sort of a bit more regularly produced. I've got a few videos in the can ready to go. Actually, hopefully today, as I'm filming this today, sometime my little pen mail video will go live. Hopefully that's something that people will be interested in, I don't know. Yeah, pen-wise, at the moment I'm doing 3 pen September, which is my sort of self-imposed regulation of what I'm using this month. I found that I had too many pens inked at a time and I wasn't using them enough, and I was flushing a lot of ink down the sink, which makes me feel a bit odd. So I thought, well, why don't I limit myself to 3 pens, one that's always attached to sort of my bullet journal traveler's notebook, which you would have seen in my EDC video. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's a little bit interesting, I think. And then, yeah, and then 2 pens inked with sort of interesting inks or inks that I really like, so I can actually get to enjoy the pens and the ink. It's also a good chance for me to use an ink like I have this month, at the moment. I'm not sure if I want to get a bottle of it, so I had a sample of this ink from Goulet pens. Big thumbs up for Goulet, everyone loves Goulet. And I'm not sure if I want a bottle or if I want to wait for, it's Monteverdi Sapphire, and I'm not sure if I want to wait for the DC Super Show Blue from Monteverdi to come out. I think that the Monteverdi, what I've seen of the DC ink looks great. It looks like the sort of blue that I want. Sapphire is nice, but it's a little purpley, so I want to see what the DC one's like in comparison, and yeah, I might see how I go. I love Monteverdi inks. I'd love to do a big sort of coverage of the ink lines, because I think they are really, really beautiful inks and they're so reliable. In fact, if I had to pinpoint like one of my top 3 brands of ink that I really love, I would probably put Monteverdi in that list. Things like Diamine, of course, would be right up there as well. I think the Diamine inks are super reliable and super safe. And apart from things like Ancient Copper, which tend to sort of crud up in the nib, I think they're great. Anyway, so the 3, I'll just show you. So on the bullet journal, I always have the Wingsung 3003. It gets beaten around, but as a $2, $3 pen, yeah, I don't worry so much. It's always inked with Noodler's Heart of Darkness. Also an ink I wouldn't put in an expensive pen. I don't like Noodler's. I don't know if they're necessarily the safest inks around. So yeah, so that's always in there. Monteverdi Sapphire is in the Wingsung, I can never remember it, 627. I can never remember the 626 or the 627. I got them both on the same day, and yeah, the 627. Yes, 627. I think is a really nice pen. It's an interesting pen. It's got nice weight and nice size, and I think it's an interesting sort of material, and it's got some sort of nice sort of pearlescence to the plastic. So it's I really like this pen. It writes nice. It's a nice sort of generous fine, and the ink looks really nice in this pen. And then the other pen I have inked at the moment is my Lamy 2000, which people know I love, and everyone, I think there are very few people who don't like this pen, or at least don't respect this pen. This is inked with Lamy Dark Lilac, which is one of my absolute favourite inks. Not that readily available, of course, and quite expensive if you do find it. I'm lucky enough to have a bottle, but I also got gifted, I think, about 30 cartridges of the ink, and I drained them all into an old Pelican bottle, and I'm using that up first, so I don't feel so bad about using this ink. I just love it, and it's really great in that pen. So it's other than that, I'm basically just doing what I do, loving this hobby and journaling and doing reviews. I'm preparing a couple of reviews which are really exciting, one in particular which I can't wait to get out there. And then, yeah, just sort of looking for interesting things and enjoying what I find. So today's topic. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today, as you would have seen in the description anyway, is pen packaging. This has been coming up a little bit in a few of other reviews from other people and a couple of comments on things that I've seen around the place. And I try and cover it in my reviews a little bit as to how the pens are packaged, but what I've tried to avoid to a degree is commenting on not the quality of the packaging, but what I like or what I need in packaging for pens. So when the pen mail video becomes live, you'll see that the pens that I'm talking about are really affordable Chinese and Japanese pens in absolute minimalist packaging. They literally came in a plastic sleeve that you would get, like, you know, off the little wire rack at a stationery store or something like that. No box, no fancy packaging, a plastic sleeve, a bit of cardboard, and that was it. And I love that. I don't collect pens for the packaging. I know some people really love the packaging, and the packaging is part of the experience of the pen for them, and that's awesome. When I first started getting pens that were more than just like the Lamy Safari or the, you know, the Pilot Metropolitan, which the Metropolitan does come in a nice little plastic case, but I remember getting the my Visconti Michelangelo, and it came in, you know, the standard Visconti box, and had the little, you know, fake leather case, and, you know, with the nice sort of plush lining and all that, and I thought, oh, this is so fancy and it's so nice. And I still think that, but this box has sat on a shelf for more than 2 years. I don't use the boxes. I store the pens in trays, in drawers. One day I might do a bit of a video on how I keep my collection. But what I wanted to do was to talk about a few pens and how they're packaged and why I think the packaging is interesting, or why I think it works. Obviously everyone's going to have their own tastes on this, and every pen brand does things slightly differently. I don't mind if the pen comes in a little plastic sleeve. If you're buying from, you know, China, places like that, you might get a little bit of bubble wrap. That's fine by me. I recently got a Jinhao pen that came in a box, and I thought, gosh, that's insane. You know, no Jinhao pen ever comes packaged. So it was quite a nice little surprise. One brand I think that gets packaging absolutely right is TWSBI. We are all familiar with the TWSBI box. Anyone who's watched pen reviews or owned a TWSBI pen knows this packaging. With the plain cardboard, you know, outer box, a little bit of foam packaging, and then their plastic tray. So this is the one that the, I think it was the ALR, 580 ALR came in. And of course things like the Eco come in a little frosted, softer plastic box. But the same general principle applies to the TWSBI line. It's sort of minimalist, it's effective, it's safe. Your pen will never arrive damaged. And if it does, it's been through some pretty rough treatment along the way. It's safe packaging, it's sturdy, it does everything we need it to do, and it's compact. Now, I keep a few of these. I don't keep all my TWSBI boxes. I've got a lot of TWSBI pens. I've kept a few so that I have an example, so I could show you that. But one that I am keeping because I think it is actually really, really fabulous is the packaging for the Go. Now, little cardboard sleeve. It's a light cardboard sleeve, but you don't need anything more because this is a hard plastic box. And, you know, it's nicely branded and all of that. It's normally secure. I've opened up one side of it. And the pen sits in a little foam, you know, square, and it sits securely. And once again, this is gonna take a lot of rough treatment to break on the way to you if you order online. But it's also enough that if you were giving this pen as a gift, that the recipient would actually have something that they can look at and think that this is actually, you know, this is more than just a rollerball you get off the shelf at your, you know, local office supply store. So yeah, I think TWSBI get it really right. Another brand whose packaging I really enjoy is Faber-Castell. Now, Faber-Castell have changed their packaging a bit recently, and you've got to get in more sort of cardboard sleeves as opposed to this box, particularly for things like the loom or the writing, sort of their lower end offerings. But pens like, this was the Essentio packaging, but I've had looms in this packaging and the basic, and I think also my Emotion came in packaging like this. Just while I'm here, if you've got looking at the Faber-Castell Ambition. If you've had experiences with this pen, please get in touch. I've watched lots of reviews, but the grip section is a bit of a worry. Where do you hold the pen? You know, I haven't been able to find one in a store to actually hold myself yet, so I'm loathed to spend the money to get one online just in case it's just not great. But I love the Faber-Castell pens and their nibs are brilliant. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts on that, let me know. But the packaging is really good. Cardboard sleeve, then little pen drawer, which I think is really great. The pen sits in a nice little groove there. It comes with all the necessary information and everything, and once again, if you were giving this pen as a gift, this is perfect. Now, gifting a pen to someone and having a pen for yourself are two very different issues. Of course, if you're gifting a pen to someone, you want it to be in nice packaging. So if that's something you're looking for, then there are a wide range of pens that do that beautifully. It's just a lot of packaging to sort of have to have around. If you've got more than a handful of pens that have come in these boxes, and storing the boxes actually becomes part of the experience and what you need to do. So do you get rid of them? Do you hand them on to other people? Do you store them? I know people who store the pens in the boxes, and that's brilliant, great. So yeah, I only keep a few of the boxes. I try and recycle as much of the material as I can. Often I have given them to my daughter to, you know, she does art and craft stuff with the boxes and all those sorts of things, and plays with them, and, you know, pretends there's some doctor's thing or whatever. She's, you know, she's 6, so she's inventive and imaginative. I don't have that same desire at my age. So, you know, packaging is actually something that I think about when I get the pen. There are two brands of packaging, of pens, and their packaging that I really want to mention. One is Diplomat. When you get the Diplomat box, I think it's a really, really classy box. The packaging is beautiful. You know, the motif of the ink flower is great. The way it sort of goes across the fold of the flap there, it's really nice. So the outer box I think is really, really good. We move to the inside and it's really unique. You get this metal sleeve over the tray, and that for me is, I think that's really nice. Then inside, little cardboard flap, and the pen sits in the tray. Diplomat get this right. Obviously this isn't, they don't do this for every pen. Some of the lower ends, like the lower end pens like the Traveller, don't come in these sort of boxes, but you know, the Diplomat Excellence B, which is what this box was from, the Aero, and I think even my Esteem came packaged like this. And so yeah, I really, really like the packaging. But once again, you get a few of these and it's something you have to think about. So at this point, I'll say, if you have pen packaging, the boxes and all that sort of stuff around, let me know what you do with it. Let us all know what you do with it. If you've got interesting ideas on ways to use them and things like that. One brand I did forget to mention earlier was Lamy. Lamy, if you get a Safari or an All-Star, it comes in a little cardboard sleeve. This is my favourite Lamy packaging. When I got the 2000, it came in the big box with the bottle of ink and all of that, so that was a bit different. But this little box here that the Ion came in, it's brilliant. Simple cardboard with a little elastic sort of, sort of strap to secure it all. It's sturdy, it's rugged, and this, if I was gifted a pen in this, I would be very, very happy. So yeah, good job Lamy as well. Across the board, I think your packaging is very good. But a brand that excites me in terms of the packaging is Retro 51. Now I've only got the one Retro 51 fountain pen, which is the Tornado, the Lincoln model, and their packaging is just really very cool. This little cardboard tube, pen sits securely in the foam, you get a little bit of sort of information rolled up in there. When this arrived, like I'd seen the packaging online, of course, and in other reviews, but when it arrived, I was so impressed and I was so happy because it's very, very cool. And it's not huge, it's sort of, it does everything you need it to do. So yeah, this is packaging that I really, really, really like. I've said this in other videos, but I'd love to try one of the Retro 51 rollerball pens. I'd like to do a review where I review both the fountain pen and a rollerball. I think they're really interesting pens. They're a little bit expensive to get in Australia when you think that there are certain models you can get of the rollerball for, say, around the 25 to 30 American dollar mark. Yet they cost $70 to $100 in Australia. Even converting, the conversion of 25 American into Australian, you might blow it out to $35, $40, but then the markup to get it into Australia, bumping it to $70, makes it a little bit sort of, well, $70 to $100 for a rollerball pen when I spend less than that on some of my favourite fountain pens makes it a little bit sort of tricky. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I'd love to review one of the Retro 51 rollerballs in comparison with the fountain pen that I have here. But it's interesting packaging. There's another brand who have done a similar sort of thing made of metal, and everyone was claiming that it was this amazing new way of packaging a pen, but other brands have been doing tubes, capsules for a long time, maybe not out of hand-turned or machine-turned steel, but the packaging itself is not a unique way of presenting the pen. I really like the Retro 51. I think the designs are great. It's interesting. It's not just a plain cardboard box, and I think that they should be really be commended for that. This is the sort of packaging I will always keep. So yeah, pen packaging, whether you like it or not, it's always going to be there. Whatever works, I'm interested to know what you like out of your pen packaging. If I was spending $2,000 on a fountain pen, I'd want it to come in a really nice box, and I'd probably keep that box. But we don't want excessive packaging. It just ends up cluttering up our houses, and I end up every now and again just doing a cull of pen boxes and sort of just trying to establish which ones I want to keep for review purposes, or if I'm going to use them, in other ways. I always keep the TWSBI, the little plastic boxes. They're really handy. Pencil cases, or for, like, as an opera singer, I obviously have to use makeup and things like that, so I keep my makeup brushes in one. Those sorts of things. They're really, really handy. They're secure, they're strong. So that's something that I really like about some pen packaging, is being able to repurpose it. But recycling and being economical and environmentally friendly, this is something that pen companies are starting to take into account. So when you buy a cheaper pen, or any pen for that matter, I think the minimalist packaging is always going to be what I prefer personally. And you may feel different, and that's awesome. I'd love to hear, as I said, what you really enjoy. But this was my thoughts on pen packaging, and I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch. either here on YouTube, on any of my videos, if you've got questions or product recommendations or anything like that. Or you can contact me on any of the social media platforms listed below. You can also find me on Instagram. I am at @the_offstage_me. So get in touch over there as well. Like and follow and all that sort of stuff. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you later.